We're sitting here literally not even 4 or 5 weeks into the release of Diablo 4, and everyone is contemplating and wondering, did Blizzard drop the ball? And can they recover? Increased angst with the players for the lack of endgame content, UI being, let's just call it what it is, insufficient. Blizzard, according to statistics, has been working on Diablo 4 for 6 years. Blizzard is not new to AAA game development. They've created some of the most popular games in video gaming history: World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, Call of Duty. This isn't a fly-by-night organization. This is a billion-dollar company with all the resources and intellectual capital to be able to create a game that is worth playing for years and years. How did this happen? How did we get here? Like I said in my opening statement, Blizzard is not new to AAA game development. They've created some iconic games in the video gaming landscape. How did this come to fruition with the knowledge and intellectual capital that they have? Now, I personally want to see Diablo 4 succeed. I think Blizzard has done a great job in encapsulating the ARPG genre into Diablo 4, all the good things. But I'm scratching my head today, as are many people that played this game. We're scratching our heads because we're wondering, how did we get here? We are a little bit over a month into the release of Diablo 4, and we're already here. These are questions and feelings the player base should have maybe after 6 months, 7 months of playing a game, a good game that is. But 5 weeks into the launch of this game, and literally in those 5 weeks, I would say more than 50% of the time, the player base has been scratching their head with some of the decisions that have been made. They were quick to nerf classes, but slow in addressing issues. Don't even get me started on the race to 100 and how that was handled. There's a lot of angst to go around. But the two major issues which really make a lot of us scratch our heads is, how can you take 6 years to create a game with all the knowledge you have in this space and create a game that has literally no end game content and lackluster UI and quality of life? This is what is so frustrating for the player base. And we could have our opinions, but the numbers don't lie. You can look at the performance of Diablo 4 in many perspectives. Now, congratulations. They sold apparently over 666 million copies of Diablo 4 in 5 days. The quickest launch ever of any game that Blizzard has made. So congratulations. But that just speaks to the hype that was around this game and the anticipation. It also speaks to the fact of how many players where they're waiting for this game so they can get their hands on it and enjoy it. And it just multiplies the frustration when you have that kind of successful start, and yet in less than 5 weeks have caused so much angst in the player base. I attribute it to the following, and this is what's really frustrating, okay? And just follow me for a second, okay? This is equivalent, like the lack of understanding that I personally see here is like, for those of you familiar with Formula One, the Formula One works where they go to the racetrack for the week and they change cities every other week. And they get there, they do their testing, and then Friday and Saturday is qualifying and Sunday is the actual race. So the driver goes out with the car on Friday and Saturday and they qualify. And depending on where they place, that's where they start the race, okay? The point of qualification is for the driver and car to be tested on that specific circuit. And then the team, the garage, the mechanics, the engineers take that data and are supposed to fine-tune the car so it performs at its most ultimate performance on race day, Sunday. So I equate that very similar to us, the player base, taking this game for a test drive. And we immediately provided the feedback to the Diablo IV devs, and they ignored a lot of it. Why? Some of it by choice, some of it by design, because apparently we're slowly learning that, for example, season 1, which is 10 days away, July 20th, it will be launching July 20th. It's only 10 days away. It was already basically done literally when the game was launched. And I can't validate this, but apparently season 1 and season 2 are pretty well locked up. And for example, season 1 obviously has already been tested because it's launching in 10 days. And I would imagine now they've moved on to fine-tuning and testing season 2 as we speak. But my point is, they left no room for major improvements in the game. And that's like my scenario of a driver in a car going out during the qualifying period, coming back and giving the feedback back to the engineers and the mechanics, and the engineers and mechanics saying, yeah, I know the car isn't performing great, but you know, we didn't bring that part with us here. You're going to have to wait till we get to X destination in a month. Can you imagine how the driver feels? Can you imagine how the driver is going to perform on race day? Having that knowledge that their car is missing something, yet the team is expecting that driver to go out on Sunday and perform and win the race. Now, maybe this makes sense, maybe it doesn't to you, but the point is, as a game developer, how can you create a game, know that you're going to have seasons in that game's lifetime, and already have basically 95 to 98% of the first couple of seasons already cemented and tested, not even weeks into the game launching? I don't know. Again, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know how things like that work, but this is what is really getting a lot of angst with the player base, and the numbers are showing it. You can look, for example, on Twitch, the leading streaming service. If you look at the peak viewership, the amount of channels streaming Diablo 4 since the launch of June, you can see the peak viewers, the peak channels for the month of June to the month of July drastically cut, over 50%. Now, there's a correlation between that in the amount of players playing this game. And that correlates to the fact that there's a lot of angst with the player base and Blizzard with the lack of response. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And also, I want to see this game succeed. They haven't done everything bad. They are listening. They've had 2 Diablo IV dev team streams where they've communicated what they're doing, how they're doing it, and they have made some changes because of the feedback from the player base. But what's frustrating is they're picking and choosing what they feel is important, not what the players feel. You can fix all the little things on the sides that make somewhat improvements. But if you don't address the core issues of this game, that trend of declining player base, viewership, watch time, all that stuff, that's really a good indicator of how successful a game is going to be, then that trend is going to continue. Now, I do think Blizzard can fix this, but they have to get out of this mindset of what's best for them and more so of what's best for our players. Because if you take care of them, they'll take care of you, Blizzard. So you need to fix a couple of things in my mind. Number one, and this isn't going to be new to anybody, you need to fix the endgame content, or shall I say, the lack of endgame. Like other games, when you get to the end game, you can continue to grow your character. You can continue to make your character more powerful. There's a steady incline even at the end game. Path of Exile, for example, is a prime example. But in this game, when you hit level 80, 85, you're not getting more powerful incrementally. You're not getting that much better gear. You plateau. It's a flat line. And really, you're doing the same thing over and over. I just don't understand where the motivation is. Now, we'll see what happens for Season 1. I'm going to play Season 1. I'm going to continue to play this game because I want to see it succeed. But the majority of the player base doesn't have hours and hours and hours to play this game. Neither do I, but I choose to dedicate my time in the evening to play this game. Some players only have 1-2 hours, maybe even just for the week. So you need to think about that, because that's the majority of your player base. They have a couple hours a day, a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 days a week, whatever. So you need to take care of the majority of your player base. Can Blizzard rebound? I believe they can. They can rebound by addressing the major issues in this game. I don't think what they're doing with Season 1 is enough. I don't think so. They've literally added the Season of the Malignant campaign, the Malignant Hearts, the enemies carrying these hearts get tougher and stronger as you kill them. You now can use these hearts and put them into jewelry, and there's a coloring format to it. You know, 3 colors. There's 4 colors. You know, 3 of them you have to match color to color. 1 of them can be put in any slot in a jewelry. Okay, that's it. Oh, sorry. We have the tunnels that increases the chance of getting these malignant hearts. But other than that, and there's a boss, a new boss. Okay, So we're going to have to create new characters. Now, I personally don't have an issue with that. I like leveling new characters. I enjoy that journey. However, if at the end of that journey, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and that's the only thing that's going to provide me with the foundation to level to max level, then I can see the redundancy turning off a lot of people. So that needs to be addressed, Blizzard. But I do feel this game has such an amazing base to it. There truly is such an unbelievable base to Diablo IV. It has so much potential. And my fear, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video, is not because I want to sit here and throw arrows at Blizzard. I want to put this out here so people can add this to the discussion. And I'm putting it out here because I truly feel this game is one or two major tweaks away from being a game that players enjoy for years and years and years, and I'd like to be one of them. So Blizzard, please listen to your player base. They're telling you things that are important to them. You should listen to them. Now, of course, you're a business and you have to do what's right for your business. But we are 5 weeks into the release of this game, and you are already seeing a massive decline in the amount of people playing this game. You can't make money on zero. So please listen to the player base. I truly believe that this game can be an unbelievable game for years to come. That concludes today's video, guys. Hope you found this discussion thought-provoking. What are your thoughts on Diablo IV and Blizzard? Do you think they can rebound from this? Are you okay with the game? Maybe you disagree with me. You don't see any issue with the game. This is just a natural progression. Season 1's going to give that little injection that we need. And by season 4 or 5, they're going to have their act together, and it's going to be the game that we all are looking for. I would love to hear everybody's comments, positive, negative, what your thoughts are. So thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for watching this video. And please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I would really appreciate your support. And thanks for watching. See you next time.